Hello, my friend. How are you doing today? For me, today is day 2 after the miscarriage, and my insides feel very raw and vulnerable. So, my practice today is going to be very gentle, probably not a lot of movement. I am not even sure yet what will feel good, so I'm going to find out. And if you'd like to join me in this practice, please keep in mind that while I might know what my body feels like, I don't know what your body feels like right now, and it may be very different. So if what I'm going to practice doesn't feel good to you, please skip it, modify it. Let's be gentle with ourselves. Let's really honor the body. It's been through a lot. It's really been through a lot, and this is our time to find more ease, more softness, and to begin to reclaim our bodies and feel good in them again. So I'm going to start today sitting up against a wall, so I encourage you to do the same, or just find a nice comfortable support, something to support the back. I had a lot of low back pain, I still do, so this helps me lengthen the low back. So what I want to do here is have the hips right up against the wall so that the small of the back can lengthen. So ideally there's no space between the low back and the wall, but also without curling the spine forward. So try to have the hips, the low back, the shoulder blades, and the back of the head right up against the wall. And if we lift up through the crown of the head from here, we can get a nice gentle traction in the low back. And that alone can feel really good. So if this feels good for you, please give it a try. But if it doesn't, modify. You're welcome to sit in a chair, or sit cross-legged, or sit on your heels, or anything else, whatever your body needs. From whatever seat you chose, if you happen to have the legs stretched out in front of you, let's start by moving the toes. So flex the feet, and then curl the toes, just the toes. And spread the toes wide again, and curl them in again. And do that a few times, just waking up the toes, noticing any cracking in the joints in the toes. Trying to create more space between them, stretching out the webbing between the toes. The next time you curl the toes, let's keep them like that, and then point and flex at the ankle, stretching the tops of the feet and stretching the soles of the feet. And the next time your feet are flexed, let's spread the toes, drawing the toes towards the shins and keeping them like that. Again, point and flex. So notice how that feels compared to the previous version we did. Pointing and flexing at the ankle. And now as we point, let's also point the toes. And as we flex, pull the toes back. Inhaling to point the ankles and the toes. And exhaling to flex the toes and the ankles. So we're getting the most stretch in the top of the foot as we point, and in the sole of the foot as we pull back. And for the last few, let's connect this with a breath. So I'm going to inhale as I point and exhale as I flex. Can even let out a sigh if that feels good. So the movement is going to be slower now. One breath, one movement. Let's do a couple more like this. for the last two here, really look at your feet. Follow the feet with your eyes. Just bring the mind there. And taking the feet just a little bit wider if they aren't there already. So they're about hip width apart or a little wider than the hips. Let's now circle the legs around. We're going to circle not just from the ankles, but from the hip as well. So the entire leg rotates in the hip socket. The knees are going to go to one side and the other as well. And as we flex the ankles, the toes pull back. As we point the ankles, the toes point as well. You can connect this with the breath. So when we're pointing, that's the top of the inhale. When we exhale, that's the bottom. When we flex, that's the bottom of the exhale. Yeah, do a few rounds like this. And really watch your feet. Become curious about how they move. Do they move together at exactly the same time, or is there a difference? Does one move a little faster than the other? Does one have a bigger range of motion than the other? See if you can harmonize the movement so the two legs really move together as one. Watch them closely. Let's try to go the other way. Just reversing the circles, but same thing. Notice if the feet go out of sync as you switch direction. Again, remember to really move from the hips. So you want the rotation to be not just at the ankles, but the whole leg. We're getting a little bit of stretch here in the hip area, which for me feels really good right now. So hopefully that's for you too. If not, again, please modify. Everything I'm saying here is just a suggestion. Take it or leave it. Breathing here. I just noticed I'm making fast circles because I'm talking, but if you're really circling with your breath, you're probably going a little slower than this, so don't try to match my pace. Just match the pace of your breath. If you're ready for a bit of a challenge, let's move the feet in different directions. Switching up the phase of movement for the two legs. Go the other way as well. And then shake out the legs. Just shake it out gently. Good. Now you're welcome to keep the legs slightly apart, bring them closer together. You can place something under the knees if that feels good. Let's focus for a moment on the shoulders. So bringing the palms either next to the legs or resting them in the lap. Let's inhale the shoulders forward, up towards the ears, and then back towards the wall and sliding them down. Inhaling forward and up, and exhaling back and down. And continue with your breath here. See if you can use the shoulders as a massage to the neck. Let's go the other way. So I'll slide the shoulders up, forward, down, back and up, forward and down. And again, try to spend one breath in each movement. So one full breath cycle is one full shoulder circle. Release the shoulders. One more time, let's bring them forward, up, and then back and down. And leaving the shoulders as close to the wall as possible. Let's bring the palms together in front of the heart. Inhale to float the arms up. And exhale to lower your wings by your side. We'll make a big circle here, drawing the palms back to the heart. Inhaling the arms up. And exhaling a big circle, bringing the palms back to the heart. Continue at your pace with your breath, inhaling up. Exhaling down. If it feels good to exhale through the mouth or let out a sigh, feel free to do that. But it's also perfectly fine to exhale through the nose. You can add your Ujjayi breath if you want, slight constriction through the back of the throat, so there's a bit of a sound to the breath, like the sound of the ocean. Let's circle the other way. So we'll inhale the arms out and up, and exhale the palms to the heart. Opening the palms, inhaling out and up, and exhaling to the heart. One more time, inhaling the arms out and up. And this time, as we exhale, let's pause with the palms in front of the heart. And let's keep just the heels of the hands, the pinkies and the thumbs connected, so the rest of the fingers open, like we're holding this beautiful lotus flower at our hearts. I really like the metaphor of the lotus flower. It's this beautiful, pure flower that grows out of a muddy lake. What a great metaphor. Thinking about the muddiness of the experience we've just been through. May there be a beautiful lotus flower that blossoms out of it. Let's draw that lotus flower to the heart, bringing the palms one on top of the other, bringing some warmth to the heart center. And you're welcome to stay here for as long as you wish. And whenever you're ready, let's slowly stand up and find a chair to end with a bit of a back stretch. So once you got your chair, let's start by kneeling or sitting cross-legged in front of the chair. And just extend the arms forward Take the knees as wide as feels good. Find a comfortable distance away from the chair and just place the forehead onto it. I like to wrap my fingers around the edge of the chair to get a bit of stretch in the shoulder blades, the upper back. If you have a bolster, you could also do this by putting the bolster in front of you and sitting your head on the bolster if that's more comfortable. But without a bolster, a chair will do too. So give yourself a bit of a back stretch here. And again, the advantage of the chair is that you can hold on to it and also stretch the arms, the shoulders, and the upper back. And whatever you feel like you need to stretch, whether it's your low back, your upper back, your shoulders, your hips, send your breath there. Expand that part of the body as you breathe in. And if it feels good, add a little bit of rocking with the pelvis here. So you can tilt the pelvis forward as you inhale, tilt the pelvis back as you exhale. That's going to accentuate the stretch in the low back. Please be gentle here. Do this really small movements. It really doesn't have to be much. The breath itself creates a little bit of pelvic tilting, so that might be enough. And feel free to stay here for as long as you wish. And whenever you feel ready, go ahead and press up. Coming to standing. And take the hands on the back of the chair, lean back and stretch into an L shape, an inverted L. Please be careful here not to drop the belly. Bring a slight lift in the belly. Imagine that the two sides of the belly, the left and the right, are hugging in towards the midline, towards the line between your belly button and pubic bone. To give a little bit of engagement here through the transverse abdominals. Take a couple breaths here, however long feels good. And when you're ready, releasing the hands gently down towards the chair. Let's take a bit of a lunge if that feels good. I don't feel ready to lunge by myself, so a chair is going to be a good helper here. So bringing one foot forward, the other one back, front knee above the front ankle, and then the back heel could be reaching down towards the ground, so you're getting a calf stretch. If you're short like me, it might feel good to have the hands on the seat. If you're taller, maybe take your hands on the back of the chair, wherever feels more comfortable. So here to find out what feels good for you. Maybe you do little shoulder circles. Maybe you open the heart a little bit more. Maybe you move the neck, bringing ear to shoulder or gentle neck circles. Whatever feels good. Another thing we can play with here is straightening the front knee. So for instance, we could take the hands a little bit further forward, holding on to the chair. Inhale as we straighten the leg and exhale to bend that front knee. Inhaling to straighten the front knee, folding a little bit over the leg and exhaling to bend the knee again. Feel free to get a little lower if that feels good. Maybe bring in the forearms to the chair. Inhaling to straighten the leg. And exhaling to bend the knee. Feel free to invent your own variations. I'm literally just making these up right now. It's whatever my body needs. So find out what your body needs. What feels good in this moment? What brings you relief? Whenever you feel ready with this side, go ahead and switch. Step the back foot forward, step the forward foot back, And again, making sure that the front knee is pretty much above that front ankle. You can get a calf stretch by extending the back heel towards the ground. And find out what feels good here. It really might not be what felt good on the other side. So check with your shoulders, check with your hips, check with your neck. Breathe into any part of the body that is asking for attention. Again, you can find out what height feels best for the arms here. And if you want, you could add a straightening of the front knee on the inhale and a bend in the knee as you exhale. Getting as low as feels good. Maybe forearms rest on the chair, maybe not. Just finding out what feels good for you. And whenever this side feels ready, go ahead and gently step forward again. And let's make our way back down to the ground. Take a moment once you're seated to notice how you feel. You're welcome to sit on the chair if that feels better. But just notice how the body feels. Notice how the mind feels. I've experienced moments in my life when it felt like pain in the body was never going to go away. And the amazing thing is that it did. The body healed eventually. The pain went away. When we are in a difficult situation, it might feel like that's going to be the permanent state. But it never is. There's always change. That's the one constant, change. So I know that however difficult yesterday's experience was, it passed. It's already changing. My body's already healing. And even though I don't wish to ever repeat this experience again or anything like it, I am stronger as a result. And so are you. You're strong, you're powerful, you're resilient. You got through this. And it's only going to get better from here. So please take care of yourself. Stay hydrated, drink lots of water. And maybe I'll see you back again tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me today.